Hey guys, welcome to Get Busy Watching. I'm your host, Honest Dan. Let's talk movies. Doing a rapid fire, so let's hit it. A lone, gruff, and silent driver, played by Nicolas Cage, gets a flat tire but is unable to pay for the repairs. In order to pay it off, he's tasked with cleaning up a run-down kids' restaurant with broken-down animatronic animals called WILLY'S Wonderland. He gets started and soon finds himself face to face with these animatronics coming to life, and they're trying to kill him. But he's not alone in surviving the night as he finds a teen girl named Liv, played by Emily Tosta, and her friends who want to burn the restaurant down. What is up with this year and good, bad movies? This is great! Dumb as hell, but I'll be the last person to care about that shit. This is a hardcore B movie that does everything right. While most would associate Nick Cage with being the guy you hire to have over-the-top freakouts, he doesn't have a single line of dialogue. Not one. All he does is look hyper serious and angry, which oddly enough works. He doesn't lose that commitment to making his action scenes feel visceral while he's beating the shit out of these animatronics. Very obviously people in suits, and the occasional but wonderfully bad CGI. Couple that with the hilarious violence and that his character takes frequent breaks from killing and kicking ass to drink grape soda and play pinball. Yes, you're hearing me right. It's just a fantastic, schlocky time. Even the horrible justification for the actions of the characters that put Nick Cage in this situation, the backstory of why everything is the way it is, it's so unbelievably dumb that I can't help but love it. With all that said, I have one complaint. There are scenes that have obnoxious flashing lights. It's annoying as fuck, but honestly, that's kind of it. It's a pretty awesome time. If you're looking at a Five Nights at Freddy's inspired horror comedy with Nick Cage, you're in for a blast. My honest rating for WILLY'S Wonderland, a strong 4 out of 5. Catherine Black, played by Louise Linton, is a highly successful, hypercritical, psychopathic killer who has her eyes set on her latest target, Tyler, played by Ed Westwick, who is a career thief. She lures him to her home under the pretense of hiring him to house sit. However, Tyler proves to be surprisingly smart and sweet. The two sleep together, and Catherine struggles with whether or not she wants to kill him anymore. Oh man, I was not sure about this for a long time, but honestly, I kinda had fun with it. Make no mistake, the first 30 minutes of this is a boring, even unbearable slog to get through. It's basically Rich Narcissistic White Woman, the movie, and seems to pride itself in that. All we see is this rich white woman brag about her success, her health, her apathy for being psychologically unwell, and just flaunts her sense of fashion, her intelligence, and sexuality. It was obnoxious to the point where I had decided I didn't like it. But then something happened around the middle when Tyler ends up stealing her car, and she forces him to turn around to return it. Around here is where the whole point of the movie comes into focus. It's a slasher killer rom-com. A serial killer wants to kill her latest victim, but ends up falling for him. That's when I started to have fun. Catherine justifying her desires to kill Tyler, all the creative weapons she tries to use. She could have done more. There's too much fourth wall breaking in general, random ass time wasting moments, and trivia about weapons used in movies when playing with both rom-com and horror tropes could have been really amped up and make this something truly special. And start sooner, because dear God does it take its sweet ass time getting to where it needs to go. I don't blame the low ratings. I had a hard time finding stuff to like, but when I did, it kind of worked for me. Not completely, but I did kind of like it. My honest rating for Me, You, Madness, a 3 out of 5.
You were out cold for ages. I got a little bored.
Looks nice.
Thank you.
You're always killing couture?
Ha 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 ha. Very funny.
No, but seriously, have you got a cocktail party to go to?
We are the party, baby.
Based on true events, set from 2010 to 2013, Ross Ulbricht, played by Nick Robinson, is an educated young man with the belief that if you want to do drugs, that should be your given right. Teaching himself how, he creates a website on the dark web called Silk Road, where anyone can buy drugs and be completely anonymous doing it. However, his actions are slowly catching up to him as the older beat cop Rick Bowden, played by Jason Clarke, now working for cybercrimes, has also taught himself to navigate the inner workings of Silk Road to find Ross. It was interesting, not quite my cup of tea. I couldn't follow everything, but just enough to hold my interest. I don't know much about the dark web other than it's a shady ass place to buy shit that could land you in prison. Anything more than that, way beyond me. I will say that what I could follow, the allure of being on a browser that hides your identity, the ability to use currency that can't be tracked, to buy drugs that get delivered right to your doorstep like you bought them from Amazon, it's hardly a wonder this thing's popularity skyrocketed like it did. This is emboldened by the sheer level of passion that Ross has for it, and his charisma is all thanks to Robinson, who delivers a great performance. And I really enjoy this story about how two guys, self-taught on the dark web, technically on opposite sides of the law, yet still ultimately cause their own downfalls. I would say that it's still an imperfect movie, and those imperfections are on full display. While I like Clarke as an actor, his character Rick is just your typical edgy beat cop who kicks down doors, chain smokes, curses a lot, hates that he answers to a younger superior, but oh how cute, he loves his wife and daughter. Jeez, it was exhausting to see him on camera, which really crippled the film for me. It's probably a story that's worth checking out, but I just don't think it's going to leave much of an impact. My honest rating for Silk Road, a 3 out of 5.
Okay, but you can't buy drugs on the internet, Ross.
I've been thinking about this. What if you could?
Sorry, what are you saying?
Think about it. Amazon for drugs.
You despise Amazon.
But I love freedom.
Set in the 1970s, Jean, played by Rachel Brosnahan, is the wife to her shady husband Eddie, played by Bill Heck, who brings home a random baby for them to take care of. One night, an associate of Eddie's forces Jean to take her baby and run with another associate of Eddie's named Cal, played by Arinze Keene, who is tasked with keeping her hidden and knows nothing of Eddie's mysterious disappearance. What the fuck did I just watch? This might be the most boring movie I've seen so far this year. The biggest reason for this is because it's a mystery thriller where so much of it revolves around what Eddie did, where he went, and basically what's going on in general. But quite literally, all we do is meet one character after another who has no idea what's going on and or why it's happening at all. Basically, we have a mystery and a plot that gives no clues. I have to assume it has something to do with the infant that Jean carries around all movie long, but this isn't explicitly explained, nor is it even a question that the characters ask. Not a single, so does all this insanity have anything to do with this random baby that Eddie brought home? Never asked, or at least not that I heard. If this was asked and I simply didn't hear anyone ask or contemplate, then in my defense, the acting is stale as hell. If I were someone who had to uproot my entire life at the behest of a stranger telling me that my spouse is missing, I'd be freaking the fuck out and demanding some answers. And if I didn't get any answers, I'd be hightailing it anywhere else until someone gave me something. My thoughts on this movie as a whole, by the way, give me something, please. Point is, Jean doesn't act like a person. Maybe she's supposed to be numb to all this, I don't know, but whatever the case was, it didn't work for me. That's all I can say about this one. It didn't work for me. Total bore fest, utterly forgettable. Do not watch it. My honest rating for I'm Your Woman, a 2 out of 5.
But we couldn't adopt because of his record. And then one day he walks in with a baby. I said, "Who is that?" Eddie smiles and says, he's our baby.
Marla Grayson, played by Rosamund Pike, is a con woman who exploits a system of legally becoming a guardian of elderly people and seizing control of their finances and lives by selling off their homes and personal possessions for her own monetary gain. However, she finally gets a challenge when she becomes the guardian to Jennifer Peterson, played by Diane Wiest, whom she thinks is the ideal candidate who has no friends or family, but discovers that she has diamonds that a particularly ruthless former Russian mafia boss, Roman, played by Peter Dinklage, wants for himself and sets his sights on Marla. Contrary to what the title is, I actually don't care that much for this, which is strange because it's a wild ride. I admit this could be a mood thing, and if I was in the right frame of mind to want to see shitty people butt heads, flaunting their intelligence and power at each other, maybe I would like this more, but as it stands, not so much. It's not poorly executed. Marla is a deliciously sadistic bitch, and by the way, this is Pike's most enjoyable performance since Gone Girl. Bash that against Dinklage's awesome beardedness. Them sharing screen time almost seems magical. Really, this goes out to everyone, especially Wiest, who is so much fun. I guess my biggest complaint comes from how hollow the more save the kitten moments feel, like how Marla is genuinely in love with her lover Fran, played by Isa Gonzalez. We're following villains doing horrible things to innocent people. Why does it feel like the movie is trying to say that if either one of them dies, it should feel sad? Like, we should be afraid for them. I gotta say, I don't. This isn't explicitly said, of course, but it's just how it feels in the writing, acting, and direction. I can barely put my finger on it, but it just feels empty for some reason. It's not devoid of good, even great moments, but it just doesn't feel consistent. My honest rating for I Care a Lot, a strong 3 out of 5.
If you ever threaten, touch, or spit on me again, I will grab your dick and balls and I will rip them clean off. You understand? I'll tell your mom you send your best.
Based on the book of the same name, Flora, played by Matilda Lawler, is a 10-year-old girl who saves a squirrel from an automatic vacuum and becomes convinced that the squirrel has superpowers. However, as intelligent as the squirrel seems, it comes at a fragile time in Flora's home where her parents are separated and struggling to make ends meet. And when Ulysses the squirrel catches the attention of a bumbling animal control expert named Miller, played by Danny Pudi, things only get harder for Flora. Anti-Disney over here. Hire back Gina Carano, get rid of Kathleen Kennedy and Christina Ariel, pay your writers, and then maybe I'll consider actually spending money on your products. As for this, it's a kids movie, it's inoffensive. I'd be lying if I said I didn't get a few ironic laughs out of this due to the 90s feel it has, with over-the-top reactions to things that happen to certain characters, as well as the writing and making the kid characters act way older than is realistic. Luckily, young Lawler is actually a charismatic actor at times and has great expressions when called for. Actually, most of the time, the actors are fine enough for the material they're given. Though I swear, someone needs to give Allison Hannigan a proper movie role because for some reason, she brought her A game to this. Fucking why, girl? This is a movie about a squirrel that gets superpowers after getting sucked into a vacuum. No one cares. Yes, I know, she has kids, I'm just saying. Admittedly, only a few select things truly bothered me. One, what's with Flora's constant self-proclamations for being cynical? There's literally nothing cynical about her. And why is there heavy drama in this kids movie out of the side characters? They're not gonna see a resolution to their problems here. I ain't recommending a Disney product, but it had some cute moments in an otherwise dumb kids movie. My honest rating for Flora and Ulysses, a 3 out of 5.
Do you have any enemies?
Barb and Star, respectively played by Annie Mumolo and Kristen Wiig, are a pair of middle-aged best friends who have unfortunately lost their jobs and their beloved group of friends. In an effort to feel alive, they decide to vacation to Vista Del Mar, Florida. However, what they don't realize is that the city is about to be under attack by an evil woman named Sharon Gordon Fisherman, also played by Wiig, with a swarm of deadly mosquitoes for past transgressions against her. This will not be everyone's flavor of comedy, but honestly, this is the random kind of nonsense that really tickles me. I admit I was not on board with this for the first act. It was kind of annoying hearing the endless babbling from Barb and Star and just felt like the comedy was try-hard. But as soon as we get to Vista Del Mar, everything changes. Everything is so over the top, what with the music and dance numbers, talking crabs, referencing Morgan Freeman's filmography, Andy Garcia in a cameo as a character named Tommy Bahama, and Reba McEntire in a cameo as a water spirit named Trish. First real mistake, it should have been Trisha Yearwood. How dare you, Wiig and Momolo? All the while being set in a wacky James Bond for kiddies plot to kill a bunch of people. Everything you heard me say is something that really happens, and it's as bonkers as it sounds. From that alone, you should know what kind of time you'll have with this. Truly, there are some legit funny jokes, and by God, if this goes down as Jamie Dornan's most memorable performance that outshines even the 50 Shades movies, then I don't know if that's a tragedy or a triumph. The only true downside is the oversaturation of Barb and Star talking over each other. In some scenes, it works great, but not so much in others. This is a surprisingly delightful outing that does take some getting used to. But if this is your brand of humor, then it is quite rewarding if you just stick with it. My honest rating for Barb and Star Go to Vista Del Mar, a 4 out of 5.
Star, if I've said it once, I've said it a million times. You could model for F and Chico's, and I'm not just saying that.
Chico's, come on. I wish.
Or Costco. I'm talking the Kirkland brand.
Kirkland? Oh my God.
Sue Buttons, played by Allison Janney, is a timid and underappreciated wife who finds out that her husband Carl, played by Matthew Modine, not only forgot about her birthday, but has also been cheating on Sue. When she finds out and confronts him in the act, Carl suffers a heart attack and dies. Burying his body, Sue decides to use this story and tells the media that her husband is missing to garner positive attention. No, seriously, what is up with this month and bad but funny movies? Yeah, I kind of enjoyed this. Imagine if Gone Girl was a dumb comedy. That's pretty much what this is. It is so shamelessly stupid that I couldn't help but get the impression that the filmmakers and actors knew they were making something with no brain and just had fun with it. Sue's story is constantly evolving as people question her about what happened to Carl, but so few characters actually point this out, and what few do are seen as the crazy ones who are crossing a line. It's like this world is full of fake people who are just looking to promote their own images. From Sue herself to her younger sister Nancy, played by Mila Kunis, Sue's favorite talk show host Gloria Michaels, played by Juliette Lewis, everyone just feels like whatever comes their way has to serve their needs. It's a despicable set of characters to follow, but I feel like the movie knows that. To supplement how nasty and self-serving the main characters are, they are put in constant stress, which has led to some pretty funny situations. Awkwafina plays the daughter of a mob boss who is trying to prove that she's intimidating, and she does this by shoving 2 fingers in Janny's mouth. Wanda Sykes plays a character who wants in on doing crime stuff, all for absolutely no reason. I don't think this'll hit a cult classic status. It's gonna fly under too many radars for that, but for my tastes, it's just bizarre enough for me to enjoy it. My honest rating for Breaking News in Yuba County, a 4 out of 5.
This is Nancy Livingston for KT2 News. You can cut. Sue, you did great. Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Thanks so much for watching, you guys. I really appreciate it. Have a great day. Stay safe and healthy out there. Please wear a mask if you go out. Hope to see you soon.